So my vision is very forward-thinking and very different than all the other candidates. I'm not talking about the same old issues. I want to disrupt the status quo. And what that means to me is actually creating immense change. I'm not left, I'm not right, and I refuse to even be central, and I refuse to be placed upon that broken linear scale. So what I'm doing is encouraging people to truly, for the very first time, vote for change. Not more paper-pushing politicians, but leaders. And real leaders are actually very different than politicians. A real leader inspires others, protects others, and brings all in society to rise to their highest potential. So that is my approach, and with that comes my social impact strategy, as well as my people's platform. This is going to focus heavily on sustainable innovation, tech, design, alternative energy. It's also going to turn Calgary into the next modern smart city. We need to be a leader in this country, and we are so far behind right now. I have a Citizens Without Residence program that's actually going to tackle our homelessness on the street. It's going to help tackle the mental health crisis that we have, as well as drug addiction. I have a food security program where we are actually going to grow our own food in the city so that all citizens of Calgary have access to healthy, fresh, organic fruit and vegetables. I also am going to convert all of our waste, our recycling, and the medical waste as well, cleanly into energy. And that energy can be put right back into the grid. So these are just a couple of the really big initiatives I want to launch. But of course, when we're talking about the basics, I definitely feel that we absolutely must lower business and property taxes, and we absolutely must bring affordable housing to Calgary. And I'm going to do this very much emulating Europe, bringing in affordable, sustainable, social housing projects to Calgary. And that's just the beginning. That's just some of the key things I want to bring to Calgary. So for me, and based on what I have heard from all the citizens I've spoken to, I support the police and the firemen. This is incredibly important. I also support mental health initiatives. I support food initiatives. I support social housing programs. And I also support the need to actually address our homelessness issue in Calgary. So for me, those are my key priorities. When it comes to development, my priorities and the key issues I like to address is that we do not destroy our green spaces. Under no circumstances should they be sold. We must be responsible when we start developing. We must protect our heritage spaces, and we must also bring in sustainable social housing projects that are affordable, more minimalistic types of communities with services that actually address the needs of those living in those communities. I'm okay and totally supportive of doing this with either nonprofits and or private groups as well. So right now, we got to stop the bleeding and the excessive spending, and the City of Calgary cannot afford these 5 big projects. So we need to pause the green light, and we need to readdress that budget. We need to address the contracts in it, and we need to address the timeline. And right now, focus on economic recovery first and foremost. I very much have a policy, so I will be releasing that before the vote, but it's really basic. It's really easy. I took a very different approach. I did not agree to align with big corporations or big groups that had their own agendas. So I have financed this myself. I believe that 100% everyone running in politics must absolutely expose that. We've already seen here in the city, a top candidate has been hiding donations and then was dishonest about those donations. And this is not right. We must have transparency. And the citizens who are voting must know the truth and must have the facts available. So when it comes to homelessness, I have an initiative, Citizens Without Residence. It is 4 tiers, because this is not an easy one to tackle, but it is one that can be it can actually be approached very strategically, and we can have a solution in place in 6 to 12 months for that. When it comes to housing, Calgary does not have affordable housing. We absolutely must bring in a European-style social housing program. They're sustainable, they're green, they're beautiful, they're minimalistic, and we need to start building these sustainable communities, whether it's for the millennials and our youth or whether it's for our aging citizens. Just want a safe community to live in that's low maintenance. So I do have quite a few issues when it comes to when it comes to affordable housing and social housing. Well, for me, really, I think we have to focus on the city first and foremost, which is a mess. Our budget needs to have the fat cut off. We need to stop excessive spending. I mean, the last 4 years, they've been spending like drunken sailors. So we got to get that under control. And then I intend to have a very healthy, productive relationship with the province, because a lot of these initiatives are not actually just municipal for me. They're things I intend to take provincially. So I do believe that it's incredibly important to have a very healthy relationship with the province. That I'm incredibly different. And a lot of people don't know I exist and get very excited when they find my platform. And we've done a lot in the last month. I've only been official for a month, and it has spread like wildfire. But we all have to realize that we're not getting the honest facts when it comes to stats, when it comes to front leaders who have actually bought their way into surveys. We need to do our homework. We need to educate ourselves, and we can't rely on solely just the media to tell us who is exceptional, who the great leaders are, and who's really running for the benefit of the people as a whole. So I am asking everybody to please do that research, and a great site is polity.vote, where you can see us all and all of our policies and what we stand for, because we really need change. The so-called front three leaders are all from City Hall. We can't bring them back in. If we do that, there'll be no change. It'll just be the same old, same old. So I'm really asking the voters to get out there, to step up for what they believe in, and to really vote for change, because we're at a critical point and we can't wait any longer for that change.